Okay, let's go ahead and get started with Quiz C. So everything that you should have had during your quiz was your conversion chart, highlighted correctly, and then on the center of all of your tables, we had given you the molar mass of any compound that you might come across. But that does not necessarily mean that you need the molar mass for every single problem. So make sure that you are understanding how you're using your conversion chart. And if you're never using this half of the conversion chart, you're actually never asked for molar mass. So make sure you keep that in mind. All right, number 1. Everything that you had to do for each problem was make sure you had your units, you highlighted correctly, and then you circled your final answer. Okay, and then obviously you needed the correct final answer. So just make sure that you're doing all those things. I'll make sure that I'm doing them as I'm going over each of these problems. So number 1 says calculate the number of atoms. Atoms are particles, so I'm going to highlight that in blue. In 13.2 moles of copper. Okay, so first thing, write down the number that you're starting with. So 13.2 moles. And then go from there. One thing that I did notice is a couple of students thought moles was short for molecules. So I saw it sometimes highlighted in pink, sometimes in blue, sometimes the word molecules was highlighted in pink. Realize that these are two totally separate units, and moles is not short for molecules. Okay, so anytime you see the word moles, that's specifically these moles, and that's where you're starting in pink on your sheet. Okay, so we're going from moles, pink, to particles, specifically atoms. So this is the next part of the equation that you need. And there's nothing that you need to plug in. This is already given to you. So 1 mole underneath 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. So go ahead and write that in. Okay. And that's all you need. Moles is going to cancel out. I'm going to end up in particles, and the particles specifically atoms. So you're going to go ahead and put that into your calculator. 13.2 multiplied by, or times, 6.02 exponent button to the 23rd power. Now, if you have Mr. Huizinga or another chemistry teacher, realize that if you have a calculator that looks like this, you need to click the exponent button. Hopefully at this point you are familiar with how to use a calculator. Alright, so let's find our answer. So our final answer is 7.95, and the reason I put 5 instead of 4 is because that third number is a 6, which is greater than 5, so I'm going to round my second decimal point 1 up. So 7.95 times 10 to the 24th power, and the units that I'm in is atoms. Number 2. How many moles of calcium, my highlighters, are there in 425 grams of calcium? So start with what you are given, which is 425 grams of calcium. So that is mass, and we're asked for moles. So going from mass to pink, moles. This is the equation that we're going to use. So go ahead and write it down. 1 mole over molar mass. Now, molar mass is highlighted in yellow. We also highlighted calcium in yellow. That's what you need to find the molar mass for on your basically cheat sheet, okay? Because we already gave you the molar mass of any compound or element that you'll see. Calcium is on here, 40.08 grams. That's all you need. Grams is going to cancel out. You're going to end up in moles. That's the unit that we want. So you're going to go ahead and type that into your calculator. So 425 divided by 40.08 grams. Alright, so we're going to end up with 10.60 moles of calcium. And you can write of calcium. I'm choosing not to. Alright, and so this answer, a lot of students thought they had to convert this into scientific notation, but again, we need a number here between 1 and 10, and because this is 10, we're going to keep it as is, so 10.60 moles. Let's go ahead and look at the back side. Number 3, how many grams of potassium permanganate are in 2.2 moles? So we're going to write down what we're starting with, 2.20 moles. And we're asking for grams. So we're going from pink to green. That means we have to follow our arrow. We're going to use this top equation. And we do need to find the molar mass of potassium permanganate. So if we take a look at that and look at our sheet, molar mass of potassium permanganate, man, it's a mouthful. It's 158.04 grams. And then below that, you're going to have 1 mole. And that's all you need to do for that one. So you're going to plug this into your calculator. Right, moles cancels out, we're left with grams. That's what the question's asking for. So 2.20, we're going to multiply by 158.04. It's going to give you a really big number. So this needs to be changed into scientific notation. So I'm going to go ahead and write it out so I can show you how to change that into scientific notation. So 347.688. To change that into scientific notation, we need to have it be a number between 1 and 10. So I'm going to move my decimal point 1 spot, 2 spots. I'm going to end up with 3.4, that's greater than 5. 3.48 times 10, I moved my decimal point 1 spot, 2 spots, to the second power. Okay, it's going to be a positive 2 because that is a large number. So 3.48 times 10 to the second power, and that is grams. And that's our final answer. All right, number 4. Determine the number of moles present in 32.5 grams of aluminum chloride. Start with what you're given, which is 32.5 grams. All right, so we're going from grams to moles, green to pink. So following our arrow, we're going to use this bottom equation right here. So 1 mole over the molar mass of aluminum chloride. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my sheet, find aluminum chloride. The molar mass of aluminum chloride is 133.33 grams. Grams cancels out, I'm left with moles, and that's what I want. So I'm going to plug this into my calculator. 32.5, and I'm going to divide by 133.33 grams. And it gives us a small number, so we are going to have to change this into scientific notation. So go ahead and write that down first if you'd like. 0.24375. And we're not going to keep all those decimal points, so I'm not going to write out the entire thing. We just need to move this decimal point, so I have a number between 1 and 10. So I'm only going to move it 1 spot between the 2 and the 4. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 2.4. I'm going to round that 3 up to 4 as well, because this next number is greater than 5. 2.44 times 10. I only move my decimal point 1 spot, and because it's a small number, this is going to be a negative 1. 2.44 times 10 to the negative first power, and that is moles. And last problem. Okay, what is the mass in grams of 1.02 times 10 to the 24th atoms? Oops, I highlighted that wrong. Alright, this should be in blue. Ah, panic. Blue. Oh, now it kind of looks green. But this should be in blue because it's atoms. Now it looks very blue. Of manganese. And that is your compound or your element, so that should be in yellow. Sorry about that. So go ahead and start with what you're given. 1.02 times 10 to the 24th power of atoms. And I want to go from atoms all the way back to grams. So from particles in blue, follow the arrow, 1 step, 2 step, back to mass. So this first equation we're going to use is up here, and you don't have to do anything to it. 1 mole over 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. Last step, because that just got us to moles, and we need to get all the way to mass. go ahead and plug this in. So the molar mass of manganese is on your sheet, 54.94 grams over 1 mole. Particles cancel out, moles cancel out. I'm left in grams, which is what I want. So you're going to have to plug this in your calculator. Let's type in 1.02, exponent button, to the 24th power, divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. I'm now going to multiply that by 54.94, and that should get you your final answer. So last and final answer, I get 93.0877. Again, not in scientific notation, so I need to move my decimal so I have a number between 1 and 10. Move my decimal only one spot, so I'm going to end up with 9.31, right, because that's greater than 5, times 10. Move my decimal point one spot, so just 10 to the first. And the unit that we are in is in grams. Okay, final answer. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask your chemistry teacher, whoever that may be, and good luck on your next assessment. That was it.